A show based on the facts, honesty, the man, the myth, the legend, Constitutionalist Joseph M. Leonard.
Welcome to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard, and that's Leonard. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and occasional guest type podcast. Really appreciate you tuning in. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show! Hello, gang. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 113. For those who don't know, those are the Saturday monologue episode numbers. And, of course, I have like 250-ish total shows so far over now into this third season. Most of the guest-related ones, some make it as a regular Saturday episode. I work that in instead of a monologue. But most of the guest shows are midweek drop specials, usually a Wednesday. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll do a Tuesday, Thursday, or music weeks. I had Monday through Friday, whole week for 3 weeks, midweek or weekday drops of guests. At any rate, I didn't come here to talk to you about that, but I don't want this show to be about me, right? But at the same time, I'd be remiss, I'd be stupid to not mention how lucky and fortunate I've been of late to have several feature pieces in various publications. Like, for example, Women's Insider. Well, why Women's Insider? Well, if you're looking behind the scenes video, you could see I'm wearing my The Book of Kennedy latest 6th international book. And no, that's not Sydney Sweeney there. Although I've had people ask, did you get Sydney Sweeney to pose for your No. This is an AI-generated female who maybe does resemble Sydney Sweeney a little, hence people asking me. No, she didn't pose for my book. At any rate, Women's Insider, thank you so much, feature about me, but mainly the book, because Kennedy, no, not about JFK, RFK, the Kennedy clan, the Camelot clan. Kennedy, a young female named Kennedy, aka KT, her initials, is the primary lead in the Book of Kennedy book. So they ran a feature regarding me and the book. Thank you so much, Women's Insider. So again, I'd be foolish to not give them a shout out, helping me by mentioning me and running that article. Thank you. Also, Today's Read, also a separate, similar, not identical, but pretty close to the Women's Insider's piece about me and the 6th international book, The Book of Kennedy. So thank you, Today's Read, for running that article. Greatly appreciate it. And after that came, and at the time of this recording, it's not even dropped yet, but by the time that this show, Season 3, Episode 113, drops in August on the 16th likely would have dropped by now. Good Morning US, which is going to be a piece about health. And my being a former IT guy, forced into retirement due to health issues, I've mentioned to you before, right? I'm on disability, and that's why I internationally publish books now. As to I've been writing my entire life. I've made reference back before to the 1984 piece radio play I wrote for CJOM, which you can find at terrorstrikes.info/radio play or terrorstrikes.info/Billy Idol. Why Billy Idol? Because the radio play was about that I won that week of that contest and was featured and highlighted by them back in 1984. The contest was here's a song of the week. Write a radio play that relates to it. And that happened. 1984, I was not thinking about being an international author in any way, shape, or form. I was writing things for people to enjoy locally here in Michigan. And indeed, that opportunity with that contest popped up, which, of course, was very encouraging to me at that time that my writing abilities and skills were appreciated by others than just in my own mind. Right? So, due to health issues, I was kind of forced into early retirement, put on disability, and then focused on what I've been doing also my whole life, writing. Well, now let's focus on that as I call it a hobby. I don't call it my new profession, but that gives me something to show for my days these days, as well, of course, as having the time available to do this podcast. I'm not working a full work week. I'm not capable of working a full work week, but I can squeak things in. I can write here and there, and however long it takes to put together a book, it takes. No pressure, right? This show, I do only mainly weekly the Saturday monologues, and then indeed putting in guests here and there, hopefully, usually now prettily, can't talk, pretty regularly, weekly, at least a Wednesday, a guest appearance. I can do 2 30-minute shows a week without much pressure and stress and strain. It's not like it's actual work for me. And then lastly, Men's Insider, also then focusing on the hey, this guy transitioned from former IT guy because forced into retirement due to health issues, now is doing books, right? Is an author. Here are his books. I don't know if the article's even going to mention this show that I'm doing this show or not. Not sure yet. It's in development as I record this now, but as it will air on August 16th, Men's Insider, that piece should have already been run by the time you're hearing this. So, at any rate, again, I don't want to make this show be a focus on me, but at the same time, how stupid would I be to not at least mention that, hey, those features are there and they'll be cross-referenced, links available check out my Everybody Wiki page, Joseph M. Leonard, not on Wikipedia, but everybodywiki.com, I think it is, right? The alternative to Wikipedia, Everybody Wiki. My main wiki, quote unquote, page there will have these all mentioned and referenced as a citation that you can then find. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for those who have actually made it to this point rather than tuned out. It's like, we don't want to hear this guy. We want to hear the political news we need to hear about, and or we want to hear his guests and what they have to say. Thank you if you've made it into the broadcast this far, kind of focusing on me, which again, I don't want to be the focus, but again, I'd be really stupid if I didn't make mention of these feature pieces I've been so fortunate enough to have had published about me lately. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Please check out the Book of Kennedy about life and living. It's not a sequel to Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, which, as hopefully you already know, right? Not about death and destruction, but life and living. Well, I take that sub thread from that. So this is a quasi follow-up book, not a sequel, with completely different characters, focusing solely on that sub theme of life and living, the good, the bad, the ugly, trying to navigate through it while remaining positive while there's so many people try to drag us down in life, right? Also, a sub thing in the Book of Kennedy, self-reflection, because there's a whole lot of people with the me attitude. Sorry, the planet does not revolve around you. And there's a lot of people out there that need to hear that message, right? And you can make your life better actually making other people's lives better, right? You hear me? I'm about individualism. Martin Luther King, content of character. We are all individuals, but yes, working to a broader, greater collective good is great under the Christian free will notion of doing so, not that being biblical community under free will versus worldly communism, where you are forced to be part of a collective and work for everybody else with little concern for yourself. We need to have concern for others as well as ourselves, but voluntarily and not at the complete expense of us, right? Doing for others can also do good for us. So I guess that all relates to politics after all. And this show, as a broader thing, not just me, after all, right? The biblical community versus worldly communism, while not overtly spoken to a lot in the Book of Kennedy, is indeed a sub-thread, sub-theme also in that book. We are to want to help each other. We are not supposed to be forced to do so as part of our Christian lives, as part of Kennedy being a Christian and it indeed being a Christian themed book, as all of my books are. Again, Terror Strikes, not your normal traditional kind of fluffy Christian book, right? But also not about death and destruction as one might assume, because terrorism is the thread that holds it all together, but life and living. Thank you all for tuning in. Take care. I've already gone way longer than I was expecting this episode. Take care. God bless. See you next time. Thank you for having tuned in for Constitutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come. But for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless. Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help.
Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM is your conservative flamethrower. Weekdays, Steve Gruber starts things off at 6 a.m. Gruber gives his perspective on the issues of the day. At 9 a.m., Glenn Beck blazes the airwaves with his nationally syndicated program. From noon to 3, it's Dennis Prager. At 3 o'clock, it's Wham's own Thayrone X. On the Edge, Thayrone tells it exactly as he sees it. At 6, it's The Dana Show, your conservative alternative. At 8, don't miss Joe Pags. Weekends are filled with conservative talk as well. Fingers Malloy, Thomas LeDuc, The Abolitionists Roundtable, A Moment of Clarity with Pastor Rick, Your American Heritage with Ed Bondarenka, Dave Janda's Operation Freedom, and Dick Kupke's Trigger Talk. You can even get links to Wham podcasts from Dave, Dick, and of course Thayrone, all from their pages on our website, whamradio.com. Keep it locked on Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM in southeastern Michigan, and whamradio.com anywhere in the world.